How's it going, everybody? It's Pilot Family. We are back with another FPL video, and today we're going to be looking at 3 wildcard slash free hit slash just drafts in general that I have for you for Game Week 19 if you're looking to free hit wildcard or just change the team all around. If you haven't done so already, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you are new. It's free to do. It helps you out, it helps me out, it helps everybody out, so make sure to go do it right now if you haven't done so already, and turn those notification bells on so that you can get the content as soon as it is readily available. And give us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch so you can keep up to date on all of the different things that are coming out for content. And you can give us a follow and stop by on the FPL stream. We're doing a deadline stream tomorrow over on Twitch, so make sure to check that out. Link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment down below. It's going to be 1 hour before the deadline, whatever time zone that is for you. For me, I'm 1 hour ahead of EST, so I'll be up at 6 a.m. So that's 5 a.m. EST. So make sure to check out what time zone that is for the deadline. We'll be up 1 hour before that, so check us out over on Twitch. It's PilotFilm226 on that as well. So without further ado, let's see what drafts I have in order for you this week. So the first draft that I have for you is specifically a wildcard oriented draft. It pretty much goes, relatively straightforward. You're going to be looking at some players that you probably think are going to be quite, you're going to be in a lot of people's teams, maybe, get a little bit of mix of both worlds, but it's going to feature, some of these drafts are going to feature quite a few different players, double city defense, De Bruyne, Salah, those sorts of players are going to be in there. But this one's kind of got, game week 20, game week 21 still in mind. So in goal, we have Martinez. Obviously, when you play a wildcard or any team-altering chip, you can't play the bench boost, and you can't play the triple captain. So we don't need really bench players. We can just have whatever on the bench. So if you were wildcarding, again, it's going to be harder to set up the bench boost later on, but this is what I would go with if your team's not necessarily in good shape. So Martinez in a goal, he's going to have a couple double game weeks down the line for sure. So he's going to be the keeper, and you have Steer as the backup as well. So you have that covered. In defense, Chilwell got a great double game week, versus Fulham and Leicester. Could potentially get some attacking returns there, maybe a clean sheet in there, and he has good fixtures afterwards as well. Cancelo and Diaz, 2 best City defenders in my opinion right now. And basically all the defenders that are being looked at in the game right now have to be compared to them in terms of their output. So right now, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Robertson, are they necessarily too expensive for their current price? Maybe, and Cancelo and Diaz have definitely provided good value on that front with the amount of clean sheets they've been getting. Cancelo's just basically 1 assist or a goal away from getting an absolute ridiculously high monster haul. I think he's had like 20 chances or something this season and hasn't recorded an assist, which is amazing. Could have had one in City's last game, but Mahrez just put it wide past I think it's Sanchez is the Brighton goalkeeper's post. So yeah, bit unfortunate there. But as long as they keep getting the clean sheets, they're going to be in pretty much everyone's team. And then Kufal is just a budget option as well. Also has a double game week, so you can choose to play him. You can play Son or you can play Bamford. I think you have that choice there. I think Son's going to do better than Kufal in 2 game weeks. Probably unlikely, but you still have Son and Bamford as single game week players. In this system, I would go into the double game week. I would play 4 at the back, I would play 5 in midfield, and I would play Antonio up front. I would play basically a 4-5-1 with Son in over Bamford, just because I think he's got a slightly better fixture overall. In midfield, we've gone with basically 4 premium-ish midfielders. We've gone with Rashford just because of the budget, which is 101.7 million squad value. And the reason we've gone for Rashford on the wildcard draft is because Bruno's 1 yellow card away from a suspension. If he gets a yellow card in the Liverpool game or in the Fulham game, he will be suspended for the following game. So if he gets a yellow card in the Liverpool game, he misses the Fulham game. If he gets a yellow card in the Fulham game, he misses the Sheffield United game. So Rashford's not necessarily in trouble for that. He's going to play probably similar-ish number of minutes as he was hooked in the last game, slightly earlier. But Rashford is probably going to play just as many minutes as Bruno in the next few games as well. Those two, they start pretty much every game when it's an important game in the league. And I think they can definitely score as well as each other. Also, with Pogba playing in the same team as Bruno, Pogba's been kind of taking away from some of Bruno's underlying stats, like shots on target, like key passes, like expected assists, all these sorts of things that Bruno's very good at. Obviously, Bruno's on penalties still, but at the end of the day, if Rashford says, "Hey, I want to take the penalty," Bruno can let him take the penalty. So we'll have to see on that. Rashford's also on some free kicks as well. So, and he comes in a little bit cheaper. Is he necessarily Bruno Fernandes in terms of his output this season? Definitely not. But we have to cut the budget a little bit somewhere. If you wanted to kind of, lower the price. So Bruno, I currently have him at 11 million. So I would need an extra 1.4 million. So if I were to take that off, let's say Chilwell as an example, of just doing some quick math, I would need basically a 4.7 million defender or less, and you could just play Bamford instead. So you can go 3-5-2 instead of a 4-5-1. But I think I like Chilwell because of the double game. It's just some little nuances that you could do there. But this team, you pretty much know that everyone in the team, assuming no injuries or sicknesses or illness or anything like that, is going to cause them to miss out. And Bruno, with playing Liverpool in the first game, you would think that he could potentially get a yellow card in that, whether it be just feistiness because it's an important game. If it was Fulham first, you would have no problems with having Bruno in there. I would be like, okay, he's fine. If he gets a yellow card in the Liverpool game, okay, whatever. He misses Sheffield United, okay, no big deal. It is a good fixture that he'll miss, but it is what it is. But and then up front we have Antonio, who seems to be fit, has 2 very good fixtures, triple West Ham. What's not to like about it? And then Bamford is somebody who probably a lot of people have. He's going to be good. He plays Brighton. If you wanted to play him, you could. He's got a great single game week, and I think he could do well. I'm potentially looking at bench boosting with him in my team as well. So on the bench, and he has 1 game, so which isn't too bad. It's obviously disappointing that he doesn't have 2 games, but the 1 game versus Brighton is still going to be quite good. So let's take a look at the second draft I have prepared for you. So this draft is designed to have Kane and Son in your team. Now, this could be a free hit team. This could also potentially be a wildcard team. I would say it probably more favors being a wildcard team overall because it's future-proofing, although it is very difficult to have Kane and Son, De Bruyne, Salah, and Fernandes/Rashford without missing out on one of them. Yes, I could have Son out and have Rashford in if you wanted to go more of the double game week players. So if we were looking at this draft again, Martinez in goal, again double game week goalkeeper. You can't bench boost when doing a team altering chip. I would play Kufal, Cancelo, and Stones. All 3 of them have double game weeks. Stones obviously comes in because their squad value is slightly higher here. If you have a better squad value than I do, then you can obviously go up to Diaz, who I think is a more assured starter. Even though Stones and Diaz have been the partnership, so I think they're almost as nailed on as each other. But Diaz probably is slightly better for goal threat, even though Stones has scored recently versus United in the Carabao Cup. But Kufal is definitely in there. Holding I have just in there just because he was 4-4 when I bought him. He's currently 4-5. Lowton, again, cheap defender. No, he's probably going to play. He has a double game week. Not really too much sales there. In midfield, Salah and De Bruyne obviously make a reappearance there. Souček's in there. And then we have Son. And then we also have Grealish in there. So Grealish is somebody who, again, is a bit on thin ice when it comes to the yellow card situation. He has 4 as well. Now, I learned this just today, actually, that the number of yellow cards, so if you pick up 5 yellow cards before you play, I believe it's 19 games, then you get suspended for a game. It's not game week 19. It's not a specific time. It's how many games. Once you've played a certain amount of games, if you pick up 5 yellow cards during that time, you get suspended for a game. So, and Grealish is mostly just like Bruno Fernandes, which is just mouthing off to the referee, to be honest. So if he can not do that, then he should be all right. And I should be fine for him. I don't see any problems there. I mean, Diego Costa was an old favorite of everybody. He's had 4 yellow cards for the longest time. Was always mouthing off to the referee, getting yellow cards left, right, and center. And then there was a point where everyone's like, "Oh, I don't want him. I don't need him. I don't need him. I don't need him. He's going to get a yellow. He's going to get a yellow. He's going to get suspended." And then he just kept scoring. And then that time came and passed. He played his 19 games, and then he got a yellow. I think he got a yellow the following game when he wasn't going to get suspended for it. So. Yeah, he knows his limits. Some players are definitely quite smart. And then up front, Antonio obviously returns. This could be Bamford. This could be another cheap forward. I've gone with Antonio just because he had a double game week. And Kane as well. So what you would do in this situation is you would play 3-5-2. So you play Stones, Cancelo, Kufal, obviously Martinez in goal, Salah, De Bruyne, Grealish, Souček, Son, Kane, and Antonio. So you'd have 2 single game week players in Son and Kane, but they're also versus Sheffield United. So is still quite good. Then you have Son and Kane going into the game versus Brighton as well. You still have De Bruyne for his fixture versus West Brom. You have oh no, Son and Kane play Liverpool next. So you have Salah versus Son and Kane, but then they play Brighton afterwards. So if you wanted to, you could get rid of Salah for for the week for that week afterwards. For like Fernandes, who plays Sheffield United, if he hasn't been had his game suspension, or Rashford or somebody like that. Then if you wanted to move out Son and Kane, who play Chelsea, you can do that as well. But I think that versus Liverpool versus Chelsea, I think it's West Brom they also have in there as well with Brighton. So it's like bad game, good game, bad game, good game. But Chelsea and Liverpool are going to probably attack them quite heavily. And West Brom aren't great defensively. And Brighton are going to attack them as well. So I think it kind of favors Spurs, to be honest. So this might not actually be that bad of a draft, even though Son and Kane are like single game players. And people are getting rid of them for, for De Bruyne and Salah and these sorts of players. I think the only players that you should be, taking Kane and Son out for is De Bruyne or Salah, pretty much. Maybe there's a case for Rashford and Fernandes, but Fernandes is on the on 4 yellows. But Salah and De Bruyne are probably the only two that I would say are definitely 100% you can convince me saying, oh, I'm taking Son out for Salah. Okay, fine. Then that would make sense. But then you also consider hits as well. It is a bit tricky, but I think this draft overall is quite balanced. Obviously, it doesn't have any Man United, but you have to do like the hokey cokey, as it calls it. So you have to swap around the big hitters as you see fit. And then once City's defensive fixtures kind of go out the window after, I think it's game week 24, 25, or whenever it is, something like that, you can probably get rid of downgrade one of these defenders, and then use that money to pump it into whoever you want. You can put it on Son, and then make Fernandes. Basically, you can do a bunch of different things for that. But finally, let's check out the draft that I would most likely go into Game Week 19 if I could have a clean slate and a free draft going into the double game week. So this is my ideal free hit draft, and it is the most expensive out of all the potential drafts that I've had thus far at 102.7 million. So this would be the team if I could free hit basically, or have my team set up right now for double game week players, not including the bench, obviously. So free hit, this is what I would go with. I would go Martinez in goal because I think he's probably the best goalkeeper for save points. He also is versus Newcastle, so it's kind of the best of both worlds. We're not sure if Fabianski's fit. He's probably a good option there as well, but there's a chance that Randolph could play the first and then Fabianski play the second. He would be in there if I knew Fabianski was 100% fit. So I think the next best is Martinez, because I think he's one of the games he's almost guaranteed a clean sheet. And against City, he's still probably going to make some saves. And Aston Villa are quite good defensively, but we're not sure, what the goalkeeping situation is going to be. If he doesn't play or misses both games, then we have Steer there as well. It would just suck as if he played, if he only played versus City or Newcastle or they only played one game, really, because I still think he can get at least a point or two versus City, because they don't really score too many goals, but he's going to get some save points as well. And then in defense, you have Chilwell, Cancelo, Diaz, Kufal. I think those are probably the 4 best defenders for their value in the game right now, especially with the fixtures coming up. So West Ham have good fixtures, obviously, in the double. City have good fixtures afterwards. Chelsea have good fixtures afterwards. And they've Cancelo and Diaz, I think, are the 2 best defenders in the game, obviously, by far. Diaz is the most nailed, and Cancelo is the most attacking, so I think it makes sense. In midfield, Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Souček. I think those 4 are going to be pretty prevalent in almost everyone's team, whether you're wildcarding, free hitting, bench boosting, triple captaining. I think those 4 are going to be in there for sure. Most certainly Salah, De Bruyne, and Souček, probably. And then up front, we have Antonio, but we've gone with Jamie Vardy. Now, the reason I've gone with Jamie Vardy is because he has a double game week. He has good fixtures after the fact. And the 2 teams that he does play in, it's Southampton and Chelsea. Those are 2 teams that are definitely going to allow him to get in behind, because they play at quite a high line, both of them. They like to press, and Vardy's very good at getting in behind. And both teams in Southampton have been kind of mixed defensively, but Chelsea in recent weeks haven't been. So you can definitely see Vardy getting behind, maybe winning a penalty. and scoring some goals there. And he's slightly cheaper than Kane, who has, kind of mixed fixtures afterwards. Even though I made an argument for him potentially, having good fixtures because he's versus teams that kind of play up and he can play them in behind. But I think the more Son-like fixtures, when they have to play like really deep and then hit the ball long, those are more Son type fixtures because he gets in behind. But I think Vardy could definitely do well. He typically scores against the better teams as well, specifically the top 6. He has a very good record versus them. And the only concern would be his fitness, basically. But Roger said that him and Maddison are both fine, so it should be no worries there. It is a quick turnaround, but they don't really have a striker that Rogers favors. I mean, Iheanacho's kind of been, in and out of form. I think he's personally a very good player when Iheanacho plays alongside Jamie Vardy as like a front 2. But I know the system they want to play as like a 4-2-3-1 with like Maddison playing the number 10. It is what it is. And I think they're still quite effective in that way. But they had a good success with Iheanacho and Vardy up front towards the latter half, the first half of the half. I don't even know what I'm saying. Basically, the first half of the second half of the season, if you know what I mean. Basic games, will it be like 20 to like 28? They did quite well with Iheanacho and Vardy, and then tapered off because of being hit by injuries and suspension and that sort of stuff. But yeah, this would be the team that I would like to have, because then if you were to put the team out on the field, you would have Chilwell, Cancelo, Diaz, Kufal with Martinez in goal, Salah, De Bruyne, Fernandes, Souček, and then Vardy and Antonio all have double game weeks, all have really good fixtures afterwards, all have good fixtures in the double. You can captain Vardy, you can captain Fernandes, you can captain De Bruyne, you can captain Salah, you can even captain Cancelo if you wanted to. Who knows? There's a bunch of different ways you can do it. And then your bench is still cheap enough to whereas if you you're still going to get points. So Holding is going to play, Lookman's going to play, so you have 2 like guaranteed subs going forward. So yeah, should be okay. Ronan Brewster obviously gets a substitute appearance every now and again. If you wanted to, you can always downgrade Chilwell to the likes of Reece James afterwards, and then upgrade Jamie Vardy to Kane. You can always downgrade Fernandes to, let's say, Grealish, and then you can upgrade Lookman all the way up to Son if you wanted them in. There's many different ways, price point wise, you can kind of change things around. I just think Chilwell is probably safer if you're going to go a Chelsea defender, because you can see Reece James, playing one game and maybe sitting out the next game because he's coming off a longer standing injury. But yeah, that's my ideal draft for this game week. So let me know what you think about all 3 drafts, as well as the one that I favored the most, which is this last one right here. And that's going to do it for our wildcard free hit Spurs draft sort of video thing. Basically just drafts to see if you guys like them or not. If you haven't done so already, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Like I said, it's free to do. Just hit the button. It makes things better for you. It makes things better for me. It helps the channel grow. It allows me to make more videos much like this one. Also, make sure to turn those notification bells on so you can get videos like this one as soon as they are readily available. And drop us a follow over on Twitter and Twitch. It's PilotFam226 on those platforms. Again, we will be doing a deadline stream over on Twitch 1 hour before the deadline. We will be live for that. It's PilotFlame226. Make sure to check the pinned comment down below to get the exact time. Also, you can just check your FPL team. If you scroll down to the fixtures, you'll see the time of the deadline. We're going to be live an hour before that, so make sure to come check us out over there and have your questions ready, because I know there's going to be a lot for this double gaming. Thanks for watching, and until the next one, take care.